Welcome to the longest running quiz show in the area. Categories. High school students compete to answer questions on topics from art to science, history to current events. And now, here's your categories host, John Bartell.
Hi, welcome to Categories. Today we promise to bring you a real dogfight here on Categories as the Blue Valley Southwest Timberwolves take on the Blue Valley Northwest Huskies. See, they're both dogs. All right, let's go ahead and meet our competitors first from Blue Valley Southwest.
I'm Pavan Koda, and I'm a senior.
I'm Ross Marine, I'm a senior.
I'm Emily Love, I'm a senior.
I'm Katie Subra, I'm a sophomore.
I'm Grant Laster, I'm a sophomore.
And our competitors from Blue Valley Northwest.
I'm Josh Lazarus, I'm a sophomore.
I'm Jesse Gilmore, I'm a senior.
I'm Dan Stilley, I'm a freshman.
I'm Crystal Tian, and I'm a junior.
I'm Emily Fong, and I'm a senior.
All right, fantastic. Here on Categories, in the first round, a question will be asked of each team, or of a team. If they respond correctly, they will earn a point. If they respond incorrectly, the other team will get a chance to steal that category. We did a coin toss before we started taping. It was won by the Huskies. So Huskies, here is your first category. It's sports, specifically boat racing. The Molokai Ho is a dangerous boat race that takes place annually in the waters between Molokai and Oahu. What types of boats participate in this race? Crystal?
Canoes.
Canoes or outriggers, either one would be acceptable. T-Wolves, you have the next question, and it is vocabulary. If your parents were ornithologists and an apiologist, how might they explain the facts of life? Ross?
With the birds and the bees.
The birds and the bees, very good. Huskies, next category for you is U.S. history. It was to prevent what strategic passageway, from falling into German hands that the United States paid $25 million for the Virgin Islands in 1917. Dan?
The Panama Canal.
Panama Canal is what we were looking for. T-Wolves, general knowledge. Neuropsychology professor at Boston College claims he can tell how nervous a person is by the number of times they do what? Emily?
Blink.
Blink is correct. Huskies, current events is your category. The president of what university system says he plans to assess law enforcement procedures after images of protesters being doused with pepper spray?
Oh, sorry.
Emily?
Berkeley.
Berkeley or the University of California, either one is acceptable. T-Wolves, geography regarding islands. Upon discovering them, Christopher Columbus found them so numerous that he was reminded of St. Ursula, the Virgin Martyr of Cologne, who with 11,000 virgin handmaidens was murdered by the Huns in the 4th century. Identify the islands. Ross?
The Caribbean islands.
Cannot accept that. Huskies, chance to steal this islands question. Upon discovering them, Christopher Columbus found them so numerous that he was reminded of St. Ursula, the Virgin Martyr of Cologne, who with 11,000 virgin handmaidens, and Crystal?
The Virgin Islands?
The Virgin Islands, and coincidentally was purchased by the United States for $25 million in 1917 to protect the Panama Canal. All right, Huskies, you do have the next category. It is U.S. government. What percent of the popular vote must a third-party presidential candidate get in order to qualify for public financing? Emily?
42.
That is incorrect. T-Wolves, chance to steal this U.S. government category. What percent of the popular vote must a third-party presidential candidate get in order to qualify for public financing? Pavan?
20.
No, a little bit lower, 5%.
Oh.
5%. Southwest, you do get the next category. It is science nutrition. What vegetable, considered by some to be the ultimate diet food, is believed to contain fewer calories than, Ross?
Celery.
Celery. Huskies, fine arts is your category. In the 1920s, this artist was introduced to the Duchess of Kent, who told him, "My granddaughter painted like that when she was 9. The painter replied, Madame la Duchess, when I was 9, I painted like Raphael. Name the artist. Crystal?
Botticelli.
It is not Botticelli. T-Wolves, chance to steal this category. It's fine arts. In the 1920s, this artist was introduced to the Duchess of Kent, who told him, my granddaughter painted like that when she was 9. The painter replied, Madame Duchess, when I was 9, I painted like Raphael. Name this artist. Grant.
Picasso.
Picasso is correct. With that correct response, you have evened up the score at 4 apiece. T-Wolves, you do get the next category. It's multiple choice science. When exposed to light, electrons are punched out of the atoms of a material and freed to move. The speed of emitted electrons depends only on the intensity, frequency, amplitude, or speed of the light they are exposed to. Pavan?
Frequency.
Frequency, very good. Huskies, U.S. history, presidents. While an Ohio congressman, this man was elected both senator and president in 1880. Name him. Crystal.
Cleveland.
It is not Cleveland. Southwest, you have a chance to steal this U.S. history presidents category. While an Ohio congressman, this man was elected both senator and president in 1880. Name him. James Garfield. James Garfield. Southwest, you do get the next category. It is U.S. geography, mountain ranges. Place the following mountain ranges in order from the earliest formed to the most recent formed. Here are the mountain ranges. The White Mountains, the Adirondacks, the Rockies. Ross?
The Adirondacks, the Whites, and the Rockies.
That is the order. Huskies, literature is your category. Leon Uris wrote Battle Cry. Who wrote Cry the Beloved Country? Time on that. T-Wolves, chance to steal this literature category. Leon Uris wrote Battle Cry. Who wrote Cry the Beloved Country? Ross?
Hemingway.
It's not Hemingway, it's Alan Paton. Alan Paton. Southwest, you do get the next category. It's science aviation. In terms of aviation, what does ceiling zero mean? Ross?
Flying level.
Cannot accept flying level. Huskies, science aviation is the category, and it's your chance to steal. In terms of aviation, what does ceiling zero mean? Dan?
The lowest cruising height.
Cannot accept lowest cruising height. We're looking for the fog coming all the way to the ground or no visibility is what that means. Huskies, you do get the next category. It is science again, but at this time it's metals. Often this silver white metal is combined with iridium to make such items as surgical tools and the international prototype kilogram in France. Although it was once used to adulterate gold, it is now 4 times as expensive. What am I talking about? Jesse.
Rhodium.
It is not rhodium. Southwest, chance to steal this metals category. Often, this silver white metal is combined with iridium to make such items as surgical tools and the international prototype kilogram in France. Although it was once used to adulterate gold, it is now about 4 times as expensive. What am I talking about? Ross.
Platinum.
Platinum is correct. Southwest, you do get the next category. It is U.S. government. Name the American politician who served the most years in the top 2 offices of president and vice president combined. Ross.
George Bush.
It is not George Bush. Huskies, chance to steal this U.S. government category. Name the American politician who served the most years in the top 2 offices, president and vice president combined. Dan.
Harry Truman.
It is not Harry Truman. It's Richard Nixon, 13 years, 7 months, and 8 of these read as vice president. Huskies, you do get the next category, however, and it's fine arts theater. From your knowledge of the theater, tell me what playwright had 4 Broadway hit shows running simultaneously. Crystal.
Bernstein.
It is not Bernstein. Southwest, chance to steal this fine arts theater category. From your knowledge of the theater, tell me what playwright had 4 Broadway hit shows running simultaneously. Oh, time on that. Neil Simon. Neil Simon is who we're looking for. Southwest, world history is your category. In the 18th century, what nation's currency was known as pieces of 8? Ross?
England.
It is not England. Huskies, chance to steal this world history category. In the 18th century, what nation's currency was known as pieces of 8? Joshua?
The United States.
It is not the United States, it's Spain. Spain. Huskies, you get the next category. It is math. Okay, here we go. Expressing your answer as an improper reduced fraction, find the limit as x approaches 1 of the quantity x to the 4th power minus 1, closed quantity, over the quantity of x to the 3rd power minus 1, closed quantity. Crystal?
0.
It is not 0. Southwest, chance to steal this math category. Expressing your answer as an improper reduced fraction, find the limit as x approaches 1 of the quantity of x to the 4th power minus 1, closed quantity, over the quantity of x to the 3rd power minus 1, closed quantity. Pavan?
4/3.
4/3, exactly right. Oh my God. Nice job. Military history is the next category for you, Timberwolves. Name the branch of military science which relates to providing the right people with the right equipment at the right time and place to accomplish a military task most economically and effectively. Ross.
Logistics.
Logistics. Huskies, general knowledge is your category. What finger should not be used in taking someone's pulse? Dan?
Thumb.
The thumb is correct. Southwest, U.S. geography is the next category. Identify this U.S. city from the Spanish translation of its name. Here is the name. It can be called Tall Tree or Tall Stick, and it is in California. Ross?
Palo Alto.
Palo Alto is correct. Huskies, poetry is your category. Butler's poem, Hudibras, was a satire on what sect? Time on that. We will finish this half with the question going over to Southwest for a chance to steal. The category is poetry. Butler's poem, Hudibras, was a satire on what sect? Ross.
Puritans.
Puritans is exactly right. All right, and that takes us into halftime with Blue Valley Southwest leading this game with a score of 11 to Blue Valley Northwest score of 5. At this time in our program, we will go to a member of each team, and they will give us a campus update of what's happening in and about their school and community. And first from the Timberwolves, we have Ross. What is happening with Blue Valley Southwest?
Well, our fall sports have just wrapped up, and we just finished our tryouts for boys basketball as well as wrestling and the swimming programs that are going on, boys and girls basketball, excuse me. And then our musical department has just finished their audition selection. They'll be posting their cast list, I believe, in the following few days, and that is for Lucky Stiff is the name of the musical. And that's all we got.
Fantastic. Well, it's good to hear that you're dealing with the transition between fall and winter sports fairly well.
Yeah, thank you.
As we head in, as we look now to the Huskies, and Jesse, why don't you give us the campus update for what's happening at Blue Valley Northwest?
Well, we're kicking off our basketball season this year, hopefully following up with the successes we had last season, getting to the state championship game. Our varsity cheerleading team was awarded a 1 rating at the Mill Valley Cheer and Dance Festival last week. And our academic decathlon team placed 2nd at regionals this past weekend, with the 2 ladies down in front being our top 2 scorers.
Outstanding. I noticed when he mentioned that both of you kind of cheered up a little bit and elbowed each other. That's awesome. All right, good stuff. As we head into the second round here on categories, it is the lightning round, in which the question is placed on the floor for either team to answer. If a team does ring in and respond incorrectly, the other team will get a chance to steal that point. So both teams, here we go. Science, biology is the category. What is the name for any cell attacked by a virus? Pavan?
The host cell?
The host or host cell. Language is the next category for both teams. Until the First World War, it was the most widely taught foreign language in American schoolrooms. The teaching of this subject was forbidden during the war. Dan?
German.
German. And it never regained popularity. Music, composers is the next category. Which composer wrote the words to his operas as well as the music? Was it Verdi, Puccini, Mozart, Strauss, or Wagner? Crystal?
Wagner.
Wagner is correct. Movies is the next category. What was Charlton Heston's first biblical role? Dan?
Moses.
Moses is correct. Military history for both teams. In 1965, the first large contingent of American Marines walked ashore in South Vietnam near what city? Ross?
Saigon.
It is not Saigon. Huskies, chance to steal this military history category. In 1965, the first large contingent of American Marines walked ashore in South Vietnam near what city? Dan?
Quai Son.
It is not Quai Son, it's Da Nang. Da Nang. Math, geometry is the next category for both teams. The measure of an exterior angle at the base of an isosceles triangle is 108 degrees. What is the measure of the vertex angle? Pavan?
36 degrees.
36 degrees is correct. Vocabulary for both teams. If you went to a dance and you did not participate very much, you might be called a what? Katie?
Wallflower.
Wallflower is correct. Science, medicine for both teams. A deep loss of consciousness from which a person cannot be aroused and which can often result from trauma. Pavan?
Coma.
Coma is correct. Literature, quotations is the next category for both teams. Which author said, chess is a foolish expedient for making idle people believe they are doing something very clever when they're only wasting their time? Dan?
Mark Twain.
It is not Mark Twain. Timberwolves, chance to steal this quotations category. Which author said, chess is a foolish expedient for making idle people believe they are doing something very clever when they are only wasting their time? Ross?
Thoreau.
It is not Thoreau. It's George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw. World geography for both teams. What Austrian city was named for its mining and trading of salt? Grant?
Salzburg.
Salzburg. General knowledge for both teams. Identify the metal in this saying. According to this saying, when should one strike? Emily?
Iron.
Iron.
While the iron's hot.
Geography, museums for both teams. The Carnegie Institute is a museum located in what city? Jesse?
New York.
It is not New York. Timberwolves, chance to steal this geography museums category. The Carnegie Institute is a museum located in what city? Ross?
Chicago.
It is not Chicago, it's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. Both teams, science, species is the category. What is the common name of the diving bird of the genus Gavia, which has a laugh like a cry? Dan?
A kookaburra.
It's not a kookaburra. Southwest, chance to steal this science species category. What is the common name given to the diving bird of the genus Gavia, which has a laugh like a cry? Ross?
A pelican?
It is not a pelican, it's a loon. A loon. Music, instruments for both teams. Which orchestral instruments constitute the string family in an orchestra? Emily?
Violin, viola, cello, and bass.
Very good. That is all of them. World history for both teams. What plea was entered by all 21 defendants at the Nuremberg trials? Emily?
I was following orders.
No, I'm sorry, cannot accept that.
Sorry.
Timberwolves, world history is your category. What plea was entered by all 21 defendants at the Nuremberg trials? Katie?
Guilty.
Not guilty is what we're looking for, sorry. Cinema for both teams. Name the pilot whose adventures of breaking the sound barrier are featured in the movie. Ross?
Chuck Yeager.
Chuck Yeager. And with that, you've opened up a bit of a lead here. Southwest has a score of 18, Northwest 9. U.S. government for both teams. What tactic does the Federal Reserve use to fight rising inflation? Ross?
Quantitative easing.
Cannot accept that, sorry. Huskies, chance to steal this U.S. government category. What tactic does the Federal Reserve use to fight rising inflation? Crystal?
Well, funny story. Here's how it works. It raises the amount of interest that it charges banks for money.
That is a funny story, and that's exactly what's on the card.
Really?
Well, it's not exactly, but it raises interest rates. All right. Hold on. Would you like the challenge on that? Okay. All right, we will move on from this point, but we may have to come back and correct that score. Both teams, let's move on. Literature, authors. The 19th century poet and critic wrote one play. This 19th century critic and poet wrote one play, Osario. Who was this friend of Southey and Wordsworth? Crystal?
Oscar Wilde.
It is not Oscar Wilde. Timberwolves, chance to steal this literature authors question. This 19th century poet and critic wrote one play, Osario. Who was this friend of Southey and Wordsworth? Pavan? It is not William Blake, it's Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Geography, exploration is the next category for both teams. Captain James Cook landed on what Canadian island?
Aleutian Islands.
Pardon me?
The Aleutian Islands.
That is incorrect. T-Wolves, you have a chance to steal this geography exploration question. Captain James Cook landed on what Canadian island in 1778? Ross?
Nova Scotia.
It is not Nova Scotia, it's Vancouver. Vancouver. General knowledge for both teams. Why is this sentence, the quick brown fox jumped over? Crystal?
It has every letter of the alphabet.
It has every letter of the alphabet. Very good. World geography for both teams. In the early 1900s, the provinces of Herzegovina and Bosnia were at least nominally part of what empire? Ross?
Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Cannot accept that. Huskies, chance to steal this world geography question. In the early 1900s, the provinces of Herzegovina and Bosnia were at least nominally part of what empire? Dan?
Ottoman Empire.
The Ottoman Empire. Current events for both teams. After multiple days of clashes, protesters in what country continued to demand the end of their countries temporarily? Emily?
Egypt.
Egypt is correct. And you have narrowed the score a bit here. That's Southwest 18, Northwest 13. History, inventors is the next category. Who invented the submarine? Joshua? It is not Da Vinci. Timberwolves, chance to steal this history inventors question. Who invented the submarine? Ross?
The Confederates.
Cannot accept the Confederates. We're looking for David Bushnell, actually during the British or the American Revolution. Sports. Sports is the next category. In Major League Baseball, what must measure a minimum of 400 feet? Dan.
A home run.
Cannot accept that, sorry. Southwest, you have a chance to steal the sports category. In Major League Baseball, what must measure a minimum of 400 feet? Grant?
An in-the-park home run.
No, I'm sorry. We're looking for an actual measurement of distance between home plate and the center field fence is what we're looking for. In Northwest, you have officially been warned for conversing, so please keep your comments to yourself, please. Math is the next category for both teams. If you travel at 50 miles per hour for 2 hours and 80 miles per hour for the remaining hour of a 3-hour trip, what is your average? Pavan?
60 miles per hour.
60 miles per hour is correct. Music, instruments is the next category. How many valves does a trumpet have? Ross?
3.
3 is correct. Spelling is the next category. How do you spell hierarchy? Pavan?
H-I-E-R-A-R-C-H-Y.
That is correct. Science is the next category for both teams. Name the acid that plays a major role in fertilizer production. Ross?
Nitric acid.
Nitric acid is correct. You've opened up a bit of a lead here, 22-13. Next category is general knowledge. What's a driver forbidden to do when there's a double solid line down? Dan?
Merge lanes or cross lanes.
I will take that, cross lanes or pass. World history is the next category. Among her suitors were Philip II of Spain. Joshua? Queen Elizabeth I, very good. Sports history for both teams. The first World Series in baseball was played in 1903. The American League representative was Boston. They defeated the National League team 5-3. Who was? Ross?
The Cincinnati Redlegs.
That is incorrect, sorry. Huskies, chance to steal the sports history question. The first World Series in baseball was played in 1903. The American League representative was Boston. They defeated the National League team 5-3. Who was the National League champion? Jesse?
The Chicago Cubs.
It is not the Chicago Cubs. We're looking for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was the National League champion. Another math question for both teams. Find the area in square units of this trapezoid with these vertices. 0, 0, 0, 5, 7, 11, 7, 0. Pavan?
38.5.
It is not 38.5. Huskies, you do have a chance to steal this geometry question as we move into this is the last question. Find the area in square units of the trapezoid with these vertices. 0, 0, 0, 5, 7, 11, 7, 0. Crystal?
66.
It is not 66, it is 56. 56. But with that, Siren, that does announce the end of our game with a score, finally, of Blue Valley Southwest 22 and Blue Valley Northwest 15. Please join us again here next time on Categories as we bring you another highly contested competition of the best and brightest minds of high schoolers throughout Johnson County.